Alright guys, here's the latest addition to the garage. It's a 1982 Mercedes 300 TD wagon, and this thing is in beautiful condition. It only has, let's see if I can get the light in here, 111,000 miles on it, and the interior is absolutely beautiful. They even included some of those cocoa mats. The wood is in beautiful shape, and I haven't even cleaned this thing, so I've got to get in here and clean it. And I have, oh, look at this. This is amazing. Normally these are always this like vinyl surround is super crumpled up, and it seemed to have survived on this car. Look at that. Now the back seat area, I noticed we got some crumpling on that one. It's not too bad though. You can see the rest of it is intact. I've got about $2,000 in parts over here. Yeah, all kinds of parts, suspension parts, brakes. Yeah, there's all kinds of stuff I've got over here for the car. So I'm going to completely go through it. Also, I've ordered some replacement nets. I noticed the net is missing over here, and over there it's kind of torn up. So I've got some replacement nets. And I'm mounting a new antenna grommet, so I temporarily removed the antenna. You can see I've got the pieces inside the back. And so I want to put a new grommet on here. Let's open it up back here. Yeah, I just temporarily took out the wheel well so I could remove the antenna. Now I want to replace that old crusty grommet that's in there. The amazing part about this car, well, one of the amazing part is the rubber is in incredible condition. All the rubber around the window and the tailgate works great. Let's see, look over here. Yeah, look at that, the rubber. Normally this is all cracked and dry rotted, and this is in outstanding condition. Normally these are all cracked. You can see, oh, there's one crack starting to appear right there. But normally these are just done for. The chrome is in beautiful shape. And it's got original paint on it. I can tell because right down here by the fuel tank, some cracking has started to appear. There you go, you can see it. See the cracking underneath the clear coat? There's some cracking that started to appear under the clear coat here, so I can tell it's original paint, which is amazing. Looks outstanding up here. I can tell one of the previous owners definitely spent some time buffing and polishing this car. Came out of Houston, Texas, and it was in Arizona before that. And then an enthusiast had bought it and taken it to Colorado and started doing some restoration work on it. He actually replaced the nitrogen-filled SLS capsules or balls on the back. He replaced those, and tested out the SLS. It's working great. He also had cut the springs 3/4 to lower the car a little bit. So I've ordered some, let me get my flashlight. So I've actually ordered some replacement springs because I want the car to be at normal ride height. And you can see how it sits. He's got it sitting a little bit lower, and I want to bring it back up to normal ride height. Let's see if we can look under the hood here. Now, I haven't cleaned this car at all. So I'm going to check all the hoses and vacuum lines, replace the oil cooler lines. I'm going to do all kinds of work on this car. This is the original hood pad. Look at that. In beautiful condition. And it looks like an owner did replace I think that's from the Alda to the back of the manifold. So I'm going to get a factory line to put back in there. I don't like how that looks turquoise. And he's running, it looks like the previous owner put a amp in the back of the car for the stereo. So I'm going to remove that and put back in the original stereos in the aftermarket stereo box there. So it comes with the original. And you know, got ball joints. Those are brake control rod bushings. There's the control rod bushings there. There's a new vacuum pump. The previous owner said he tested the vacuum pump, and there it is down there. And it was a little weak, so that's a new vacuum pump from Mercedes. I'm going to put that on. And so anyway, this is the initial inspection of the vehicle. Like I said, there's $2,000 in parts that I've got over here. So, and yeah, I can tell original paint too, because it's got a couple little marks. This looks like some touch-up paint was put right there. Headlights are not all cracked and torn up. Let's look at the rubber. Oh, so I have service records going back till 1996. And one of the records in there was replacing the window gasket. So that's nice. Don't have to do that. The window gasket has already been replaced. Before I go too much further, I just want to show some of the documents that came with this wagon. I have documents going back to 1996. And I actually found this Carfax report that was run in 2003. And I emailed this guy, and turns out he was a mechanic that worked on it in Texas. I'm sorry, in Arizona back in the day. So these service records, I think it starts from the newest. Yeah, this is the guy that had the vehicle in Colorado. But check this out. There's tire rack, and there's some, oh, check this out. Here we go. Here's the original bill of sale back in, looks like it came out of Chicago, and it was immediately transferred to Nebraska. And I think the owner in Nebraska had it for 60,000 miles, and then it went to Texas and Arizona, where it spent the rest of its life. I'm not sure. It says it on the Carfax. Let's see, what's the $33,000? Light ivory, upholstery, Palomino, 300 TD-T station wagon. That would have been 1982. Here we go. July 27th, 1982, from Mark Motors. Here's the original handwritten receipt. And goes through the titles of some of the previous owners. There we go. There's where it was in Lincoln, Nebraska. There's where it was first titled 1,200 miles. This is some more Costco. Looks like tires, a bunch of. But we get to some good receipts. Oh, this is a good one here. I think this is from the mechanic in Texas. And all of the records were included. Oh, here's a cool one. Look, in 2004, all new fuel injectors were installed. $59 each. Replaced rear air cells. Adjusted valves. Front wheel bearings. Looks like a door locking rod, believe the brake system. So much cool stuff in here. There's also a new windshield gasket was installed. I think it was 2006. So that's really awesome, because I wasn't looking forward to doing that. I got a new hood pad in 2007. Replaced fuel delivery hand pump. Yeah, because that hand pump in there is not leaking, and they're normally leaking. I'm going to replace that anyway with a replacement Bosch hand pump. Anyway, lots of cool records here. And certificate of title. That's Nebraska. There's where it went to Texas. Yeah, Texas 2005 it looks like. Or that's just an inspection report. But we get way back here. Here's some from, these are back from '03. Freon leak. Oh, this is where they replaced the AC compressor, dryer, recharged it. So that explains why the AC is still blasting ice cold. What else we got in here? Back here it goes to like 96. Oh, yeah. Here we get back to the older records. When this is 97. Test battery, replace the battery. So there's just basic maintenance on the vehicle. Replace the driver's door pocket. They must have kicked that off, you know, the door pocket on the bottom side of the door. Must have broken it and kicked it off. But where's the date here? I don't see the. Oh yeah, there's Phoenix, Arizona. This is where it shows it spent at 85,000 miles. So it was in Texas and Arizona. Wheel balancing, tires. So the records go all the way back to 90. It looked like 97, which is really cool. There's a whole book on the history of the vehicle, and with the original bill of sale in here. That's the cool part. That yeah, that original bill of sale there. But so I just wanted to show that before I dig too much into the vehicle. This explains why it's in such great condition. And the chrome is in and looks to be in good condition. I'm going to polish that up a little bit, see if I get a couple of those watermarks off of there. I'm just looking down here. But yeah, I've got a lot of work to do on this one. But this is a beautiful example of an original wagon. Let's back up here and get a front shot. Here we'll look in the passenger seat. Oh wow, look, this one isn't all crinkled up. It's got a little bit starting right here. A lot of those guys take that off because it's painted behind there, but I'm going to leave them because that's original. And the door panels, of course, you get a little wrinkling, that's normal. The dash, beautiful dash. No cracks on the dash. The seats are in beautiful condition. And it's got the manual sunroof there, which is also the headliner. All of that's in beautiful condition. So this is a great starting point to bring back to bring all the way back to a full restoration. Basically all the bushing, shocks, that kind of stuff. Let me unlock this. Back here. Yeah, there's a net. I've got a net on order. I'm replacing that. Look at these back seats. These back seats are also beautiful. And yeah, the liner, that vinyl liner on the back door here is in outstanding condition. So is the rubber. This must have been replaced at some point because, well, look at that. It's still got that little covering there. That's what they look like from the factory. That like felt looking covering. So that might be the original gasket. That vinyl is in outstanding condition. Got some wrinkles starting right there. But I never see them in this good a condition, so that's kind of cool. So yeah, I'm going to get to work on this guy. Alright, I'm going to move the car over into the bay over here, put it on the lift so I can do an inspection. I just want to see what the cold start is like on it. Very nice. Fired right up. Idle's good. Fuel pressure is good. 111,000 miles. That is rare to find a wagon. When I found this one, I jumped on it immediately. And I'm going to get this aftermarket radio out of here. And looks like the button for the fader fell down in here. So I'm going to take off the wood, of course clean all this up, it's dusty, and put the button back in here. And there's some wear marks on these window buttons, but the windows work great, including the back windows. Yeah, so I think I might replace these because I want to get the little icons back on here. And little piece of wood starting to come off here, so I'm going to glue that back on. But you can see everything is in excellent shape. Oh nice, the light still works in there. Got some Mercedes books. Let's check out the sunroof here. Oh cool, I like these pull handle sunroofs, there's nothing to break. Very nice. Oh, AC. This is the beautiful part. The AC blows ice cold. I literally bought some AC charger. You can actually see it sitting right there. A previous owner converted it to R134. Looks like back in 2006, according to the service records. So when I found the car, I just charged it up with that and let it run for a minute, and it started blowing ice cold. Literally on the drive back to the house, I had to put it on low because it was too cold. So that's awesome, that works. It's rare to find one of these where that actually works. Let's pull on some headlights here. Cool, the lights on the dash. Guys, this is just the initial inspection of the vehicle. I'm just getting familiar with it to see what restoration I'm going to have to do. There's some mud on there. Looks like a little cover is missing here. I'm going to find that. Anyway, let's pull it into the bay and get this thing up on the lift. Oh yeah, definitely needs some brakes. I'll put some new rotors and pads on there. Those are squeaking pretty bad. Anyway, let's get this thing up on the lift. Alright, I'm just raising it up on the lift, and one thing I want to note here is the previous owner, as I said, was an enthusiast, and he did a beautiful job restoring these wheels. Those look great, and you can tell it's never been out in harsh weather. Look at those, there's no rust even on the lug bolts. Those wheels look really great, and I'm going to go ahead and get it up here. And we're going to inspect for what we need to replace. That appears to be high enough. Alright, yeah, the jack points are all intact. No rust. Let's look at these brake lines. Sorry, this light. Oh, beautiful. Brake lines are in great condition. They're not rusted out. Even the rubber pieces are still in here. They keep the vibration dampening. That's great. Let's check these. Oh, I can see where he's had an alignment. There's some marks here. Oh man, the tie rods are still tight. That's good. Looks like might have a little boot ripping there, so I'm gonna replace these tie rods even though they're still tight. And let's look at the ball joints. Yeah, that ball joint. I'm going to replace the ball joint. And here is, wow, now these are usually really deteriorated, the brake control rod bushing. I've got a replacement set over there. I'm going to replace these too. Those look really in great condition, so that's cool. This center shock here, I went ahead and picked up one of these. That's sloppy. The center link is sloppy, so I'm going to replace that. Now, I actually drove this car back. I bought it in Colorado, and it had 109,000 miles on it when I bought it, and I drove it back from Colorado all the way to Atlanta. And there is no oil leaking anywhere after, I don't know, what, 1,500 mile ride? Look at how clean that is under there. That's pretty awesome. Got a little, it's a little wet right here. That's probably from years of dripping, or I don't know where that's coming from, but it's a little wet right there. Nothing big deal. Transmission pan is dry, and I've actually got a new vacuum. Oh, look at that. They already replaced the bushings. I don't know if you can see that. There you go. The bushings have already been replaced. That's awesome. Okay. Yep, looks like that bushing needs to be popped back in there. It looks like it slid out a little bit. So I'll pop that bushing back in there. It does have the clip on the end, but that bushing is there. Nice. The exhaust is in excellent condition. It's just got some mild surface rust on it. Let's check this. Yep. That looks good. Brakes aren't leaking. I'm going to replace that ball joint too, even though the boot is still on that ball joint. It looks like someone may have replaced that at some point. That boot is still there. Well, I mean, with just 100,000 miles on the vehicle, I would suspect it would still be there. Oh, look, there's some Bilstein shocks on there. Somebody already replaced the shocks. That's awesome. Nice. The bushing on the upper control arm is intact. No leaking up there. Just looking at the springs. He cut a coil off the spring, so I'm going to replace these springs with the correct ride height. I was just looking at that bushing up there, and it is not ripped. That's in good condition. Looks like some weird like yellow road paint or something. That looks like the paint they put on the stripes on the road, like splattered up in there or something. That all looks good. Oh yeah, that's what it is. I can see it right here. It's like that. Yeah, it's like the stuff they paint the roads with. Looks like they must have driven through some freshly painted lines at some point. But the plastic is still intact there. That's good. It's not split or cracked. Cool. It goes all the way up and around. That's in good shape. Just looking up here. There's the new AC dryer that someone had put in there, one of the previous owners. It's got the inspection cover missing, so I'll put one of those on there. Yeah, I'm just going to go ahead and replace these front end parts. They're dirty and dusty, and I like seeing new parts under here. And this is still actually intact. The cover's in there, or the cover's on there, the brake control rod bushing, but these typically get worn here and here, so I might as well go ahead and replace it. I've got some there in my stash, $2,000 worth of parts to put on here. Let's go back here and look at the rear end. Oh wow, it's not even wet on the rear end. That's awesome. No leaking from the rear end. Oh, the boots are in excellent shape. Look at that. Wow. That actually could have been replaced at some point. I don't know. It's definitely the original axle. You can see for the paint came away from there. Oh, and the previous owner, here we go. The previous owner replaced these. These are the nitrogen canisters for the SLS. Okay, good. There's another canister back there. Somebody already did the brake lines. Yeah, these boots are in great condition here. Nice. The boot is in good condition here. Just some dirt on there. That's great. So the boots aren't leaking. Awesome. Wow, that rubber is in really good shape. Clean that off a little bit and see what it looks like. Wow, look at that. Good old German rubber. Bump stops are still intact. Let's just look up here, see if there's any rust anywhere. No, this all looks outstanding. Here's the vacuum storage tank. Still has the exhaust hangers on here. This car was really taken care of. What do we got here? No leaks in the SLS suspension. That's good. And I tested with a load in the back. When I was driving back from Colorado, had like 300 pounds in the back. Had my suitcase and tools and all kinds of stuff back there. And it rode correctly. So that worked here. Oh, looks like there's a little dent. Whoops, sorry. A little dent right there. I wonder, somebody must have tried to, I don't know what they would have done here. That's a little dent. Huh. Anyway, not a big deal. It's actually hidden by the bumper. Not going to worry about that. Let's go back under here, look at the drive shaft, look at the flex joints. Excellent. Excellent. There's no cracking. I'm sorry, the flex disc. No cracking in the flex disc. Oh, those bushings look great back here. Let me clean that off. Nice, very nice. The bushings aren't rotted out. Very nice. Let's look at these. Still has the, I think that's the vent for the fuel tank. These must be the fuel lines, yep. Those are in good condition. So it has the rubber isolators in there. My nasty ass Band-Aid fingers. Oh, look at these bushings here. These are great condition. Nice. Still flexible, still rubber. Very nice. All right, let's look at this one over here. Oh yeah, very good. Look at that transmission mount. Wow. Somebody obviously replaced that transmission mount. That thing is solid. So is the flex disc here. Let's look up in here. Oh great, there is no leaking from between the block and the oil filter housing. Normally they're just leaking like sieves down through here, and this one's bone dry. That's good. That's what I like to see. Oh great, these bushings are still intact. Good condition, so I don't need to replace those. I've made the mistake of just replacing these at one point on another car. And man, when you actually push them out of the arm, they look brand new. And they always get a little dirty out here on the end. But then you actually push them out of the control arm, and it's like, why did I go through all that trouble? Somehow, Mercedes made better rubber than any car manufacturer in the world. I don't know what they did, but these bushings are like freaking stout. Well, there's my inspection. So looks like I'm going to do the basically all the front end stuff, and all the front end control arms, tie rods, not control arms, I'm sorry, the tie rods and center link and shock, and I'll throw some engine mounts on there. Got some new, I'm going to take off the wheels, but I heard it squeaking. Definitely need some new brakes. I'm going to throw some brakes on there. Put the new radio, all this kind of good stuff. Lots of fun toys there. So anyway, I'll get you, I'll keep you guys posted on how the restoration goes on this, and we're going to get it back to top-notch condition, even though it's already in pretty damn good condition to start with. Like I said, I drove it from Colorado to Atlanta, so it now has 111,000 miles on it, and it did have 109,000 miles on it. But shipping is crazy expensive, and it cost me like $275 in like gas and food to get back here from Colorado. We're shipping, you know, $1,000+. So I'm just doing a brake inspection, and these rotors have already been changed on the rear, and I've got a ton of pad left on the rear, but on the front there's definitely a lip right there, and they're starting to get some grooving going on. Pads are looking a little low. So I'm going to go ahead and throw some new rotors on there. But I have to take all this apart anyway to get rid of these. You know, the previous owner cut the spring, and I want to get it back up to ride height. So I'm going to remove the front and rear springs. And that'll be, so I have to disassemble all that stuff. That'll be in the next video when I do that. But just going over the initial inspection. Wheel wells look great. There's no rust at all. The lips are fully intact. Underside of the car looks great. No rust anywhere. Just looking at this one here. No rust at all. Excellent condition. This is the other side. Sway bar bushings. Those are good. Let's check the bottom of the door. Let me see if I can open this. Get the bottom of the door for rust. Oh man, that's great. That is great. Got a little bitty mark there. Nothing, not a big deal. Looks fantastic under there. Let's go check the other side. All right, let's see if I can do this without breaking my neck. Oh, good. Looks really good under there. It's not all rusted out. That's awesome. Wow, that rubber is incredible. That's great. Not all rusted out. Got that damn road paint that got up on here. I'll see if I can wipe that off. Yeah. Sorry, the lighting, when it changes dramatically like that, it screws up the camera. I'm just checking the... Yeah, that looks great under there. Nice. So that looks good too. You can see where that road paint splattered along there, so I'm going to clean that off. Anyway, I'm done with the inspection on this one, and cleaned off a lot of that dust up here. Oil pan, you can see it's in good condition. It's not all dented up. And you can see the front of the engine at all. It's not leaking from the turbo drain back. That's good. It's dry up there. That's an original starter in there. Look at that. The boots are all intact for the original wiring. That's awesome. They have been all deteriorated and rotted away. This is a Survivor right here. This car is in beautiful condition. I'm just going to do your basic maintenance and overhaul on it and get it perfect again. Okay, I have all the castle nuts off of the suspension components. You see, removed, and I'm just going to show how to use the this is the ball joint separator. I'm going to try to do this with one hand, and hopefully it doesn't pop loose and hit me in the face. But you stick this guy on here, and watch this. There you go. It just pops right off. And I might have tightened that a little too much. I need to loosen it up a little bit. But they always fall on the ground, so you got to watch out. Oh, I caught it. There we go. So let me set that guy down. But those work great. They let you take off because that's a See how it's like a conical fit, tapered fit, and that's a tapered hole. So once it tightens up into there, it gets real tight as that taper goes in farther and further. There we go. See that taper goes in there farther and further. So when you bust it loose, it's once you get enough pressure on there, it bam, pops out of there. Let's see if I can show you how to do another one. So you see we have the bottom of the tool has that little cup, and you put that cup over, and sometimes you want to grease it. If you want to reuse your tie rods, put some grease so it doesn't tear up the boot. I'm not reusing these. These are the old ones from 1982. So I'm just going to bust it off. So that grips there, and then as you tighten this, it puts the leverages you need and bust that loose. So let's put this on break everything mode. There we go. Let me stand out of the way here. There we go. See how quick it does that? Now just back that back out. And you drop it every time, so you got to watch your foot. Anyway, that just busts them right out there. Otherwise, it's kind of hard to get those out with a hammer. And if you use a hammer, you're going to mess up the tip. So definitely good to use these if you're reusing your tie rods. So I got to get this one out here and this one out here, and then I'll start disassembling the brake control rod. I'll undo the nut here, get the spring out, and the whole deal. The tie rod, center link, steering shock out of the vehicle. I can get up here and really take a look at things now. Idler arm is super tight. There's no play in that at all. Pitman arm, oh yeah, that's on there solid. That steering box is not leaking, still got the factory markings on it. That's in great shape. Let me just inspect this idler arm. Yeah, that doesn't flex, no movement at all. That's in good shape, no need to rebuild that. Oh yeah, that's good. But now I'm going to put all new front steering components and get these brake control rods out of here and replace those, because might as well do it because the springs are coming out. I think this is it for tonight. I've done the inspection and gotten all that junk out of here, so I'm going to go ahead and post this video, and I'll get some rest, get ready to get at it again tomorrow. Go down to Mercedes RBM Atlanta and grab some new steering components there on Monday.